If you are over 60 and the first thing you feel each morning is a dull ache low in your back before you've even sat up, please stop what you're doing and listen for the next 90 seconds. That ache is not your mattress. It is not your age. It is not the office chair you sat in for 30 years. It is two small organs sitting just above your hips, and the research now shows that nearly half of women over 60 have lost the very thing keeping those organs alive, and they do not know it. My name is Zhang Wei. For 50 years, I have practiced traditional Chinese medicine, beginning at 15 years old in my family's herbal shop in Hangzhou, where I watched my mother and grandmother prepare remedies for the women of our neighborhood. In the next 15 minutes, I am going to give you the 5-minute morning sequence my grandmother performed every day of her 91 years, the one mistake 9 out of 10 women make when they try it, the master step that ties it all together, and the one inside-out piece your body cannot make on its own after 60, no matter how many stretches you do. But first, the part most doctors will never tell you in a 15-minute appointment. Not because they are hiding it, but because there is no pill in their drawer for this. The guidelines hand them muscle relaxers and ibuprofen. The kidneys are someone else's department, so the connection stays buried, and the pain quietly grows. In the old text, the kidneys are called the root of life. The lower back is their home. When the root weakens, the branches above it suffer first, and the very first place the body whispers is the small of your back, just above the belt line. My grandmother used to say it this way: imagine a deep well at the back of an old house. The well feeds the kitchen, the garden, and the bath. When the well runs low, every room in the house suffers, but the rooms closest to it, the lower back and the legs, suffer first. The bucket comes up half empty. The garden goes thirsty. The pain in your lower back is the bucket coming up half empty. Modern researchers are now confirming what the masters wrote on bamboo slips 2,000 years ago. The nerves and fascia connecting the kidneys to the lumbar muscles have been mapped. The pain you feel each morning is not a problem of the spine. It is the root speaking. Here's what nobody told you. Kidney function declines 40 to 50% between the ages of 40 and 70 in most adults. The blood flow slows. The fascia, the soft connective tissue holding the kidneys in place, becomes stiffer. The psoas muscle, which runs from your lower spine down to your thigh and brushes directly against the kidneys, tightens with every year you sit. By 65, the bucket comes up half empty. The garden goes thirsty. And the lower back, holding tension all day to compensate, becomes the loudest voice in the house. But here is the move that costs nothing and changes everything, and I want you to do this tomorrow morning before your feet touch the floor. Sit up on the edge of your bed. Place your warm palms flat on the small of your back, just above the waistband, where the kidneys rest. Hold them there for 30 seconds. Breathe slowly. 5 breaths is enough. The warmth of your own hands, my grandmother said, is the first medicine of the day. Researchers in Japan studied older adults who did this single 30-second habit alongside a short sequence I am about to teach you, and after 6 months, they reported a 43% reduction in chronic lower back pain. Not a supplement, not a surgery. 30 seconds before the day begins. Now, before I give you the rest of the sequence, you need to understand why so many women try this practice and abandon it after a week. Stay with me, because the answer is the same reason most stretching makes lower back pain worse instead of better. The standard rushed morning, for most women over 60, looks like this. The alarm sounds. You sit up too fast. Your bare feet hit cold tile. You walk straight to the bathroom. You drink coffee on an empty stomach. You sit down with the phone or the newspaper. 20 minutes have passed and your kidneys have received nothing. No warmth. No movement, no water, just demands. The cold floor pulls warmth from your feet, which connect by meridian to the kidneys. The coffee forces your adrenal glands, which sit directly on top of the kidneys, to work before they have woken. The sitting compresses the lower back where the kidneys rest, and the muscles around them tighten before the day has even begun. After 60, the body does not recover from this morning insult the way it once did. The kidneys hold less reserve. The psoas is already shorter and tighter from years of sitting. And this is the moment, every single morning, when the lower back pain is set for the rest of the day. By the time you have made breakfast, the day's pain has already been decided. Now let me show you the full sequence in the right order, because the order matters more than the effort. Step 1, you have already met. Warm palms on the lower back, 30 seconds, before your feet touch the floor. Step 2, the gentle rub. Still seated, with your palms still on the lower back, rub briskly up and down, about 1.5 inches in each direction, for 90 seconds. Your skin should grow warm and slightly pink. Not hot, not painful, just warm. This is the moment my grandmother said the kidneys begin to listen. The friction stimulates the meridian that runs along the back, and the brisk movement increases circulation through the lumbar region before you even stand up. Step 3, the soft forward fold. Stand slowly. Place your hands on your thighs, just above the knees. Let your back round forward only as far as feels easy. 3 slow breaths. Most women try to touch their toes here. That is the wrong order. That is step 5 for those who can do it. The hands stay on the thighs. This decompresses the lumbar spine and gently lengthens the muscles that have been shortened by sleep without asking the cold back to bear weight it is not yet ready for. Step 4, the slow side bend. Standing upright, hands on hips. Lean gently right, 3 breaths, return, then left. This wakes the quadratus lumborum, the muscle on either side of the lower spine that stiffens overnight and protests the moment you ask it to move. After 60, this muscle becomes one of the loudest complainers in the body, and the slow side bend tells it the day has begun, kindly, before any harder demand is made. Step 5, the master step, and this is the one I promised you. We arrive here last because the body has been prepared. Standing with feet hip-width apart, place your hands on the small of your back, fingers pointing down. Now listen carefully, because this is where 9 out of 10 women go wrong. They tip their head back, push their belly forward, and crunch their lumbar spine. That is the gym version. That is harm dressed as practice. The correct way is this. Imagine a thread pulling the crown of your head toward the ceiling, lengthening your spine first. The chest, not the chin, leads. You lift the breastbone toward the wall in front of you, then up, and a small backward arch follows from the chest, not from the lower back. 2 inches, maybe 3. Hold for 3 slow breaths. Repeat 3 times. The hands on the lower back are not for force. They are a gentle support, telling the lumbar muscles you do not have to do this work alone. My teacher in Hangzhou, when I was a young man, called this the squeeze of the well bucket. The bucket dips into the water, fills and rises. The kidneys, gently compressed and released, draw fresh circulation in and push old fluid out. Researchers studying spinal mobility in older adults have found that gentle daily backward extension, performed correctly, increases lumbar blood flow by roughly 30% within 10 minutes of practice. The old monks would have nodded. They had seen this in their students for 1,000 years. 5 minutes, 5 steps, done before coffee, before the bathroom, before the phone. But here is where I have to be honest with you, because in 50 years of practice I have learned something the old masters could not have known. The morning sequence will get you most of the way home. It will warm the root. It will release the psoas. It will give you back your mornings. But there is one piece your body cannot do on its own after 60, and no amount of stretching will fix it, because the problem is not in your back. It is in your belly. For 30 years I noticed something I could not explain. 2 women, same age, same morning practice, same diet. One responded beautifully. The other got 60% better and then plateaued. The stubborn final percentage would not lift, no matter what we tried. We added more sequences. We added stronger herbs. We added warm compresses, dietary changes, evening teas. The plateau held, and I started searching for the missing piece. I read the modern research. I studied with younger doctors trained in Western gut science. I traveled to speak with specialists in Japan, in Korea, and in California. Here is what I found and what changed how I practice. After the age of 60, women lose roughly 50% of the beneficial bacteria that live in their gut. 50%. And those bacteria are not optional. They are the source of the postbiotic compounds that quiet inflammation throughout the body, including the inflammation that feeds the chronic lower back pain you have been fighting. 70% of the immune system lives in the gut. When the gut bacteria collapse, inflammation rises everywhere, and the lower back, the most vulnerable spot in an aging body, is where it shows up first. This is the piece the morning practice cannot replace. You cannot stretch your way to gut bacteria. You cannot rub them back. They have to be planted, fed, and the compounds they make have to be supplied while the colony rebuilds. I tried many things over those years. Plain probiotics did not work for my women, and I want to tell you why. Probiotics alone are like throwing seeds onto dry, cracked soil. The seeds need water. They need food. They need a place to take root. And while the colony is still small and weak, the body cannot wait the months it would take for those bacteria to multiply enough to produce healing compounds on their own. The body needs the postbiotic compounds, the healing fruit those bacteria eventually produce, supplied directly. Seed, soil, and fruit. All 3. Most products give you only the seed and call it a solution. What I landed on, after years of searching, is something called BoochBod. It is the only one I have found that delivers all 3 together in a form my women will actually take. The probiotic, a clinically studied strain called lactospore, is the seed. The prebiotic fiber is the soil that feeds it. And the postbiotic, called postbiotics LM1004, is the fruit, the healing compound delivered directly while the colony rebuilds. It also carries dandelion root, which my grandmother kept in a jar above her stove for 50 years and used in every cleansing tea she made for the women of our village, and slippery elm, which the old American herbalists used long before any modern research caught up. Over 30,000 people are using it now, and here is the part that matters most for the women who come to me. It is a gummy, not a pill. I cannot tell you how many of my patients, women in their 70s and 80s, have told me with tears in their eyes that they cannot swallow another capsule. Their throat tightens. They gag. They give up on supplements they need because the act of taking them has become a daily struggle. One woman told me she had a drawer full of expensive bottles she had abandoned because every morning the pill became a battle she could not win. A gummy, taken with morning tea, removes that battle entirely. Eleanor, my neighbor from Bozeman, Montana, was the case that taught me this. 73 years old, retired school teacher, 10 years of lower back pain. Heating pads, 2 physical therapists, an injection that worked for 3 weeks. Her hands were always cold. Her ankles swelled by evening. She woke 3 times each night to use the bathroom, all signs that the root was tired. She started the morning sequence and improved by about half within 4 weeks. The morning stiffness eased, but she plateaued. The deeper ache stayed. The night waking continued. We added BoochBod. By week 10, the swelling in her ankles had cleared. She was sleeping through the night for the first time in a decade, and she came to me and said, "Zhang Wei, I picked up my grandson last Sunday without thinking about my back for the first time in years." The morning practice gave her 60%. The missing piece gave her the rest. Catherine, from Charleston, South Carolina, was the same story in a different voice. 68 years old, retired nurse, pain radiating from her lower back into her right hip, told she had the beginning of arthritis. 40 years of hospital floors, coffee on 12-hour shifts, holding her urine because there was no time, eating salty cafeteria food. Her root was depleted. The sequence helped. The morning ache lifted, but the hip pain stayed, and she could feel the inflammation in her body like a low fire that would not go out. It was the inside-out work, the gut rebuilding alongside the morning practice, that finally let her sleep through the night and write me a letter that said, "Zhang Wei, my mornings belong to me again." The link to BoochBod is in the description below. There is a 60-day money-back guarantee, which means you have 2 full months to feel the difference. And if you do not, you send it back. No questions, no argument, every dollar returned. That is the company's promise, not mine, and it is the reason I am willing to recommend it on this channel. As always, please speak to your doctor before starting any supplement, especially if you take medication for blood pressure or kidneys. Now, before we close, 3 small principles I have learned in 50 years that will help you do this work well. First, the warm hands matter more than the movements. If you do nothing else but sit on the edge of the bed each morning and hold your warm palms on your lower back for 1 full minute, you will feel a difference within 2 weeks. The hands are the first medicine. The movements come second. Second, consistency beats heroics. 5 minutes every morning will serve you better than 30 minutes once a week. The kidneys respond to daily attention, not to occasional effort. My grandmother did the same 5 minutes, with the same care, every morning of her life. She did not skip days because she felt fine. She did not do double on bad days. The same gentle work every morning for 60 years. Third, do this practice before you drink water or coffee, not after. The body is in its most receptive state in the first 10 minutes after waking, before liquids redirect blood flow toward the stomach and away from the lower back. Practice first. Tea second. And 3 common mistakes I see when women begin this work. Leading with the lower back instead of the chest in the master step, which crunches the lumbar spine and makes the pain worse. Doing the practice on cold tile floors with bare feet, which pulls warmth out of the kidneys through the meridian. Wear warm socks. Stand on a small rug. And third, pushing into pain because you believe progress requires effort. This is not that kind of practice. The kidneys do not respond to force. They respond to warmth, to gentle attention, and to consistency, the same way an old friendship responds to a phone call instead of a demand. My friend, what we have spoken about today is not really about your lower back. The pain in your lower back is the messenger. What you are protecting, when you give yourself 5 minutes each morning and rebuild the gut from the inside, is the morning itself. The first cup of tea you drink while looking out the window at the bird feeder, sitting in your own chair with no ache pulling at you. The Sunday afternoons when your daughter brings the children over and you bend down to scoop up the youngest one onto your lap, without that grimace, without that small involuntary sound your family has learned to ignore. The walk down to the end of your own garden in the spring without needing to sit on the bench halfway through. It is never too late to begin. The body at 70 and 75 and 80 still knows how to heal when it is given what it needs. If you want to give your body the missing piece, the BoochBod link is in the description below. 60 days to feel the difference, and if you do not, you get every dollar back. That is the one thing I want you to do today. If this teaching has served you, subscribe so the next one finds you. Until next time, my friend, take care of the root.